morning. Welcome to Tribune News on Hue, your go-to morning news source, only here at the Daily Tribune. We're live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Tribune Now on YouTube, and at Daily Tribune Official on TikTok. Now for today's headlines. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said he and relatives are, quote, very worried about Senator Amy Marcos, adding the public version of her is, quote, not the sister I know. He said they no longer communicate and declined to air family matters publicly. Fugitive former Representative Elizalde claimed President Marcos Jr. and former House Speaker Martin Romualdez received 56 billion pesos in flood control kickbacks. Marcos dismissed the allegations. Romualdez said his conscience is clear. Co is now subject to an arrest warrant over a 289.5 million peso project in Oriental Mindoro. First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos led the National Organizing Council in finalizing arrangements for the 2026 ASEAN Summits in Cebu and Manila, aiming to showcase Filipino hospitality and culture. Lung cancer remains the deadliest in the Philippines, with experts citing smoking, family history, and late detection as key factors. Calls grow for affordable screening through PhilHealth and more accredited centers. The Trump administration announced it is ending temporary protected status for about 4,000 Myanmar nationals, exposing them to deportation. TPS had shielded them from removal and allowed work after the 2021 military coup. The U.S. cited improvements in governance, but rights groups say the country remains unstable and elections cannot be free or fair. Han Si, SM Prime and China Banking Corp chairman, said SM remains committed to sustainability and integrity, recalling criticism for cutting trees at SM Baguio to prevent soil erosion and protect a university. He said the experience shaped his leadership, led to representing the Philippines at the UN on disaster risk reduction, and highlighted SM's role in creating jobs, infrastructure, and supporting communities nationwide. Blackpink held the Deadline World Tour in Bulacan, thrilling 100,000 fans from hits from Kill This Love to Jump. Rosé, Jisoo, Jennie, and Lisa delivered solo stages and group performances, while fans flooded the arena with light sticks, banners, and cheers, making the Philippines leg the loudest stop yet. Patrick Mahomes led the Kansas City Chiefs to a 23-20 overtime win over the Indianapolis Colts, rallying from an 11-point fourth-quarter deficit. Harrison Butker's game-winning field goal secured the comeback, keeping the Chiefs' display of hopes alive at 6-5. Elsewhere, the Dallas Cowboys overcame a 21-point deficit to beat the Philadelphia Eagles 24-21, with Brandon Aubrey's last-second field goal clinching victory. Today is the 25th of November, and I'm Eliana Lacap, bringing you today's top stories. Let's kick things off with today's weather. Tropical Depression Verbena is over Canlaon City, Negros Oriental, moving west-northwest at 20 kilometers per hour, with winds of 55 kilometers per hour and gusts up to 90 kilometers per hour. Wind signal number 1 affects parts of Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao with gusty conditions, heavy rains, and possible flash floods or landslides. Sea conditions are very rough to rough, with mariners advised to stay in port or seek shelter. Verbena will continue across Visayas and northern Palawan today, then emerge over the West Philippine Sea tomorrow, possibly intensifying into a tropical storm. Now for a traffic update. Light traffic at Balintawak Toll Plaza, approaching Skyway entry ramp, Bocaue Toll Plaza, and San Fernando northbound and southbound lanes. Approaching Mindanao Toll Plaza, motorists may encounter an approximate 150-meter vehicle queue. Traffic is slow at Balintawak Cloverleaf southbound heading to A. Bonifacio EDSA, with running speeds around 10 to 20 kilometers per hour. From Maykawayan to NLEX Harbor Link Interchange southbound, motorists are moving at approximately 30 to 40 kilometers per hour, following a previous road crash. All other areas of NLEX, SOTEX, and NLEX connector, including toll plazas and interchanges, are reporting light traffic conditions. Motorists are advised to stay alert and follow traffic advisories for a safe and smooth trip. Now let's move on to this morning's headlines. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. addressed for the first time Senator Amy Marcos's claim that he and their family use illegal drugs, saying, quote, they are very worried about her, adding that the person seen publicly is, quote, not my sister. He said they no longer communicate and choose not to discuss private family matters. In a palace briefing, Marcos also denied any rift involving Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin and Budget Secretary Amina Pagdamanan, who resigned to avoid influencing the flood control probe. He further urged dismissed lawyer Saldico to return and face the charges against him.
I'll just say this much. For a while now, we've been very worried about my sister. When I say we, I'm talking about friends and family. And the reason that is because the lady that you see talking on TV is not my sister. And that view is shared by our cousins, our friends. Hindi siya yan. Hindi siya yan. So that's why we worry. So we are very worried about her. I hope she feels better soon.
Sir, quick follow-up lang po. Nagkausap na po ba kayo, sir? Or do you intend to talk to your sister?
We don't really, we no longer travel in the same circles, political or otherwise. So no.
Now, fugitive former Ako Bicol Representative Elisaldico alleged that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and former House Speaker Martin Romualdez received 56 billion pesos in kickbacks from flood control projects. Co claimed he delivered 2 billion pesos monthly from 2022 to 2025, allegedly split between Marcos and Romualdez. He further claimed Justice Undersecretary Jojo Cadiz collected money for Marcos, while DPWH officials Roberto Bernardo and Henry Alcantara arranged project kickbacks. Marcos dismissed the accusations and Romualdez insisted his conscience was clear. Ko, now facing arrest over a 289.5 million peso graft case linked to SunWest Inc., remains abroad. First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos is personally supervising arrangements for the 2026 ASEAN Summits, aiming to highlight Filipino hospitality. Fresh from discussions with the ASEAN Business Advisory Council, she held a planning session with the National Organizing Council, hosted in Cebu and Manila. The summits will showcase the country's culture, warm welcome, and generosity. Mrs. Marcos said her goal was, quote, to reflect the very best of who we are as Filipinos through thoughtful touches, program design, and ceremony management. Lung cancer is the deadliest cancer in the Philippines due to its silent progression, often showing no symptoms until it's too advanced. Dr. Tony Ramos explained that unlike breast cancer, lung tumors grow painlessly inside the chest, making early detection difficult. Smoking remains the top risks, but cases are also rising among never-smoked individuals. Experts urge wider access to low-dose CT scans and call for PhilHealth coverage under the Lacap program. Advocate Emer Rojas stressed that technology exists, but costs are limited and access hinders screening. Coordinated care and accreditation of more facilities are vital to save lives. The Trump administration announced it is ending the temporary protected status for about 4,000 Myanmar nationals, removing their shield from deportation. The TPS has allowed Myanmar immigrants to live and work safely in the United States after the 2021 military coup. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem cited improvements in governance and stability, including plans for elections in December. Critics including UN High Commissioner Volker Turk and rights groups argue conditions remain unsafe, with ongoing civil war and military oppression. The U.S. State Department advises against travel to Myanmar due to armed conflict, civil unrest, and a risk of wrongful detention, raising concerns about the safety of returning TPS holders. SM Prime Chair Han Si said the conglomerate remains committed to environmental stewardship despite criticism, citing the 2012 tree removal at the SM Baguio to protect a hillside campus. Speaking at the Management Association of the Philippines Awards in Taguig, Si stressed that doing the right thing, even when unpopular, guides his leadership. The decision later led to his role as the first Filipino private sector representative to the UN Office for Disaster Risk Reduction. At 70, Si emphasized staying in the Philippines, building SM's ecosystem of businesses, and using growth to serve communities while upholding integrity, humility, and hard work. Blackpink kicked off their Deadline World Tour in the Philippines over the weekend, performing for 100,000 fans in Bulacan. Rosé said the crowd was the loudest the group has ever encountered so far. Jisoo, Jennie, Rosé, and Lisa delivered hits from Kill This Love to Bombaya, with solo stages showcasing their vocals and dance prowess. Fans went all out with light sticks, banners, and even a custom jeepney for Rosé. The Philippine arena erupted as a sea of pink, with Filipino blinks chanting, cheering, and creating an electric atmosphere. Rosé even enjoyed halo-halo backstage, while exclusive tour merchandise drew huge lines, making the stop one of the most memorable worldwide. Patrick Mahomes orchestrated a fourth-quarter comeback as the Kansas City Chiefs edged the Indianapolis Colts 23-20 in an overtime on Sunday, keeping their playoff hopes alive. Trailing 20-9, Mahomes engineered a 56-yard drive for Kareem Hunt touchdown and a two-point conversion, then drove an 87 yards for a game-tying Harrison Butker field goal. In overtime, he led an 81-yard match to set up the winning kick. Mahomes finished with 352 passing yards. The victory improved the Chiefs to 6-5, while the Colts dropped to 8-3. Elsewhere, the Dallas Cowboys rallied from 21-0 to beat the Philadelphia Eagles 24-21, with Brandon Aubrey hitting the decisive field goal. Now a quick look at today's horoscope. Today calls for calm and determination, Capricorn. Your steady work is likely to bring small wins, so stay organized and patient. Focus on practical skills and tasks and maintain simple routines. Accept help when offered and let your reliability shine. Colleagues and family will notice and appreciate it. Avoid rushing into decisions. Thoughtful, measured responses will yield the best results. Good habits and consistent effort will create chances for steady progress and recognition. Business matters are favorable. By evening, you may begin to see signs of advancement. Staying calm and sticking to your plan today will set the stage for continued success. Katribu, did you know that on this day, November 25th, 1952, Agatha Christie's murder mystery play The Mousetrap premiered at the Ambassador's Theatre in London? The play, originally written for Queen Mary and based on the Christie's earlier radio drama Three Blind Mice, went on to become the longest continuously running play in history. Its enduring popularity has made it a landmark of theatrical history, demonstrating Christie's mastery of suspense and the timeless appeal of the classic whodunit. Now, a TikTok video from creator Ava's Factory is racking up 8.6 million views and 2.5 million likes over a heartfelt moment between a woman and her dog. In the clip, the woman asks her dog, "Do you know I love you?" The dog responds by resting its head on her arm, melting her heart. The netizens said the moment made them teary-eyed, while others missed their own pets, reminding everyone just how much dogs love their humans. That's all for now, mga katribu. Join us again at 1 o'clock p.m. for more updates. This has been Eliana Lacap for Tribune News on Q.